Hi beautiful people, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. It's great to have you in my little corner of YouTube where we speak all things adulting, faith, and lifestyle. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That red button must turn gray. Give this video a massive thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below what you enjoyed about today's video and what other videos you'd like to see. Share this with anybody and everybody who you think might need it. And last but not least, hit those notification bells so that you do not miss another video. So without wasting any more time, let us get straight into today's video. We're back again with another vlog, and I just got out of bed. I think it's evident in the crust in that I just got out of bed. But today is the 1st of July and I am speaking at a Young Professionals Hub event. It is the first speaking gig I've gotten in a really long time, actually. I think the last time I spoke or had a speaking gig was in March, maybe April, March, somewhere there. I will link the Instagram page to the event in the description box. Yes, this will be after the fact, but it is like an actual page that gives advice to young professionals and stuff. So I would love to share that with you guys. And it is hosted by a fellow YouTuber, Oyena Diasi. Is the founder of the Young Professionals Hub, and we're actually meeting for the first time today. We're supposed to meet like 3 months ago and life happened, and so we're actually meeting for the first time today, and she's already asking me to speak at her events. Girl, what if I'm full of nonsense? Like, what if Young Tamba is, and I don't know why. But anyway, I'm not speaking alone. There is a panel discussion, so it's not just me, but I'm super excited to meet everyone and just network and meet a lot of young professionals who are in different industries. It seems like there's going to be a lot of CAs there because Oyena is a CA trainee, but nonetheless, I'm here as a strategy consultant, bringing it in for the strategy consultants and management consultants out there. So I am going to get ready. It is just after 8:30 now. The event starts at 10. I don't know what I'm wearing, but I need to be out of here by 9:30. So I can get there, and if I get lost, at least I have like 10 minutes to, maneuver through there because I don't want to be late. So let me go shower and find something to wear. It is cold, so let's find something cute to wear. The dress code is smart casual. I've been talking for a long time now. You guys are tired, Gishone. The dress code is smart casual. So I am gonna find something to wear. And I think the shoes for the outfit I want are in the car. So yeah, let's see how that all works out. And then I don't know what's gonna happen after that. I don't know where the day is gonna take me. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day. I do know I have to record a video that has to go out tomorrow. So that's probably the first thing I'm gonna do after I finish there. But after that, I don't know what my plan is. I don't know if I'm going to be in the house the rest of the day. Maybe I'm going to meet up with my sister. Maybe I'm going to go out on a solo date. I really don't know what my plan is for the rest of the day. So we'll just take it as it comes. I just wanted to vlog this specific part. So this might not be a long vlog because I think I'm only going to vlog today and tomorrow. So Saturday and Sunday. But you guys are only going to see this like whenever. Anyway, let me stop talking way too much. Let me get ready, make my bed, and get ready for the day ahead. So yeah, I'll catch you guys a bit later. Hey guys, so this is my outfit from top to bottom. Okay, the shoes are in the cart, like I said. This is Forever 21. This is Mango, I think. This is Aldo, H&M, and socks from, I think, probably Pep or something. But yeah, anyway, so I am ready. I do think I have a bit of time to spare before I leave. So I think I'm going to quickly start scripting the video that I'm going to record when I get back. So that when I get back, I can just finish it off and then record, edit, and upload for you guys. I do think I'm going to be scripting a lot of videos today. I might as well, since I don't think I have a lot on my plate. I mean, I do have work to do. but we'll talk about that in that video. So yeah, this is just the outfit. I'll try and take some pictures for the gram. Yeah, I'll try and take some pictures for the gram. No promises, because I can never promise such, but yeah, I'll catch you guys a bit later.
Once again, I just want to welcome you guys to just support this first ever event, first of many. I really want to appreciate you guys to just believing in me. Slight belief. I don't even know what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys are going to join me and tag along. It's our first Young Professional Hub event, and I just want to thank you again. By way of introduction, my name is Bandile Oyenakiasi, and I am the founder of the Young Professionals Hub. It came a little bit weird, right? I was just going through a lot of things with auditing, and I was like, I need people to sit and vent with. I'm probably not the only one going through this whole thing, right? And then I said on my YouTube, hi guys, can we have a get together? If Rori remembers, I was like, we're gonna have a small get together, just vent, just get to know each other so we can support each other on this journey. And then it became to this extent, right? So, and I'm really grateful for you guys just taking a leap of faith while we find what we are doing. So let me run through the program briefly. Hi everyone. I hope you guys are all well. I feel like you're not putting me on the spot. Like, jeez. But I love that she said that, like, she prayed about this before I came here, because I was also like being prayed on, and I was like trying for somebody to intercede with me. So I feel like we're connected in that regard. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for extending your invites and for reaching out to me, and just for me to be here with the panelists as well. I'm just hearing how great the panelists are. I think I briefly research them just to see if like my peers are on par, if I'm on par with my peers, because you kind of have to scope out to see whether like your life actually made sense, right? Because I don't think we wake up thinking that we stand on a platform having to tell young people. I think a week before Oyana reached out to me, I was listening to one of my favorite pastors, right? Her name is Stephanie Ike. She is a lead pastor and one earlier. I see a lot of nods. She's like inspired me so much. And I think in the sermon, she was speaking about how as Christians, because I'm a Christian, she started talking about as Christians, we need to stop being like lazy Christians. We need to be Christians that have like Bibles, and we need to be Christians that pray. And I do all of that, but I feel like the way she said it was so convicting to me, because I use my Bible app on my phone. I pray, you know, when those trials come and that testing at work comes, then your prayer life escalates. So I was like a seasonal Christian, you know. Yes. So I feel like the conviction when she said that was so hard on me. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna go and take a lot. I'm gonna buy a Bible, and I have it over here. I told myself that I'm going to buy a notebook. And this is a week before she reached out to me, guys. So again, I feel like it was so timely because when I started writing in my journal, when I started reading the word, a lot of the things came to my mind that I recently just qualified. And I thought about what impact do I want to have as a new CASA and like what do I want young people to know about me. So I was told that like the audience over here is going to be like both male and female. They're going to be young professionals. So I am 27 years old. I am married. I am a mom. So I'm also a young professional. So they did also mention that like the people that are going to be here have 3 years or less of work experience. So I thought about it as well. I'm like, okay, I just made it. I've got 3 years and 6 months of work experience. So I thought, okay, then that makes me qualified to speak to you guys today. So I've also money, so much riches. And he decided to have 6 months of a party just to show how wealthy and how rich he was. He invited nobles, military leaders, a lot of people just to flex. And in that time, the one day he got really, really drunk, and then he asked his Queen Vashti, to be like brought in and just to wear her crown and just to flaunt her beauty. And Queen Vashti was a woke queen. She was not having it. She was like, I'm not going to be dragged and I'm not going to wear my crown, and she refused. And the king was so upset at that because as a woman to act in defiance and just to stand against the king and say, I'm not going to do that, it came across as she was going to be like a mini influencer. And so the king decided, you know what, you don't deserve this title anymore, we're going to replace you. They held a beauty pageant and Esther won the beauty pageant and she became the new queen. Now Esther was a Jewish lady, and where this was taking place was in Persia, and the Jews were not predominant in that area. So she hid her identity when she won the beauty pageant. She didn't let anyone know that she was Jewish, right? So she had another cousin, his name was Mordecai. And basically Mordecai was also working with the king, but Mordecai found out that there was a conspiracy happening in terms of like 2 people wanted to assassinate the king. And so he let the king know these people are trying to do you dirty. And so Mordecai told Esther and Esther told the king, and now Esther had good favor with the king. Multitude of careers. He had his engineers, his accountants. But I studied to become a CASA, so that just basically means that I did my 3-year degree, and I did that at Monash University. I also did my first attempt at postgraduate diploma, and I like saying first attempt, and I'll tell you why, at Monash University. And then that didn't go so well for me. Later on in that year, I found out I was pregnant. So I was 22, pregnant, and I had failed. So that was a lot for me to consume all in 1 year. But the favor of God was still on me. And I decided that the next year, I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to go and do my academic studies because a lot of my identity has always been tied to academics. I've always been in the top 10. I've always been a prefect. I've always been top of the class. I am tutoring accounting. I am giving talks across my university. But here's this girl who fails her postgraduate diploma and then also falls pregnant. And so I needed time to myself. And in that year, I still couldn't let go of my passion for teaching. And so that's why I signed with a company. It was called Solve Tutors at the time. It was basically like a mobile tutoring company. And basically you go across the country just tutoring different subjects and tutoring different people. My daughter Zoe was born, and I think I was very convicted because one is calculating numbers, my poor daughter. But that just showed me that we were both professionals in 2 different streams, but certain things were common in our journeys, and one of them was discipline, right? I think it's something that we lecture on, discipline, but I think discipline is all about your own self-discovery. Right. The things that you want to instill in your life, the things that work for you are very personal, right? So I think to my own experience and realize in my first attempt when I was doing my postgraduate diploma, it's not that I didn't have discipline. My discipline was not in the right mindset. I thought showing up to class was going to be enough. I thought just listening in lectures passively was going to be enough. I thought that just doing my tutorials each and every day was going to be enough, but that still was not enough. So you need to take a step back and look at your life and see what disciplines do I have in place, right? I don't think anything happens in an accident. I'm not standing here out of accident. You guys are not sitting here based on an accident. There were steps that you guys took and implemented for you to be where you are today. The other thing is hard work. And when I say hard work, I've started thinking about that very differently because I also used to work very hard. In my first attempt again, I was going to the lectures, guys. They tell you in the beginning, do a minimum 40 hours. I'm like, 40 hours? Like what? And you realize they say that's the bare minimum that you do. So I was like, okay, I have all these hours. My parents send me to school. In the true sense, I don't have responsibilities. All I have to do was go to class, go to sleep. Go to class, go to sleep. That's all I had to do. But now I'm working hard, but I still failed. And so I changed that narrative. I started working smart. Working smart is about having strategies in place, like having a long-term plan. I'll give you a perfect example. My daughter, again, I mentioned that she was 4 months old when I started CTA, and I was doing it through UNISA. And I don't know if you guys know this, but as a parent, if you are at home all the time with a new baby, that's all they want. They want you and you alone. So my daughter was very needy, but I had to put disciplines in place, and I had to learn. In a day, I probably had 4 hours of like productive time throughout any day. And I knew in that 4 hours, I had to be able to watch a lecture. I had to be able to listen effectively in that lecture. I needed to make sure that when I wrote my tutorials, there was a reason why I was doing it. So it wasn't even doing a tick box of like, how many tutorials can I cover, right? So for me, the things that I started implementing, especially in those moments, is just being aware that not everybody is going to think like me. There's not always going to be like-minded people in the room, and that's okay. I also started seeing opportunity in everything. So for me, when like somebody's giving me a performance appraisal that I don't agree with, instead of thinking that they're coming for me as a person or they're attacking me, I started seeing opportunity in understanding what it is that they're seeing about me that's not reflecting the real me. So I would change the question and say, what parts of me were you not happy with? How do you think I can improve? Because then I didn't make it about me. It wasn't going to target my character. It was just going to build to how I see or how I respond to feedback. I also knew to ask for help. Now again, corporate is just full of tension. And I feel like some of the tension, or well, I think most of the tension, is because there's just people that don't know what they're doing, but they pretend like they know what they're doing. And you need to be okay with being the person that doesn't know and saying, I don't know.
Come on.
And come up to the person and say, listen, can you please help me with this thing? If your peer is doing well, better in a certain subject or a certain work paper or certain section, going up to that person and saying, what are you doing? What strategies do you have in place so that I can learn from you? Don't be so in your corner, in your space, that you are so afraid to ask questions.
So good.
We're doing X, Y, and Z. I'm also going to do X, Y, and Z, so I'm also going to do it. If you want a promotion, do you know who's in charge of promotions? Do you know what your KPIs are? Do you understand the code of ethics? Do you understand how your KPIs are being measured? Like having the right questions in mind and knowing who you need to be talking to. And not just doing things blindly by comparison, by just hoping somebody's going to validate you or somebody in the office space is going to recognize you. It's not coming. You need to start taking charge of a career and say, if I want something, I need to go for this thing that I want. And just the final topic is just having great work ethic. I think work ethic is such a challenge because it's similar to like lifelong learning, right? It's an ongoing muscle that by the time you retire, even after retirement, you need to be at such a stage where you realize that great work ethic is just about showing up. Now, some of you guys are not in audit, some of you guys are in audit, but audit is not always fun. There were moments where I didn't want to get out of bed. Like there were moments where I was asking myself, Lucifer, why are you putting yourself through this moment? Like, why are you even going to the office? Like, you know, you don't understand what's going on in leases. Like, what is going on? Like, there were just those moments where I just wanted the day to end as soon as it started. But I realized that you need to start having measures in place when you're having those bad days because they are coming. So I know I used to like listen to podcasts on my way to work, like something inspirational, something that's going to make me feel like if somebody comes at me today, I'm going to say in the name of Jesus and I'm going to keep it moving, right? I know that I listen to a lot of worship music. I thought about my daughter most of the times, right? Because being young, it's not that everyone has a child to think about, but you guys have parents, you have your family members, you probably have other responsibilities. If you start thinking about the reasons why you are in that space, it's much easier to deflect when somebody else is complaining about something that does not even speak to your why. You need to have a strong muscle to know the challenges that I'm facing in the office, the conflicts that I find myself in, are they worth it? Like, am I going to be petty and like be involved with my friend telling me the knowledge of who you are? And I always make it bigger than me. It's never about me. When I speak to you guys, it's not about me. It's about glorifying God. It's saying that He gave me a gift to speak to people and they want to hear something. So when I think that I'm working for Him, it's much easier for me because the pressure goes off. Because whether I mess up, I don't mess up, it's not about me. It's about whether what He wants to say is going to come through. So imposter syndrome is, especially in corporate, you'll feel it all the times. They used to put me in a boardroom, I remember again with EOH. We were the first team to be selected, and at that time, there were 3 first years, 2 managers and 1 partner. I was one of the first years that went to the first initial meeting with CEOs and CFOs as a first year. You're sitting in this room and it's like, what am I doing here? Like, am I supposed to, like, I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to be here. But I quickly found myself realizing that, you know what, this is an opportunity for me to learn. This is an opportunity again to meet a version of myself that I didn't know existed. Because that undeserving thing, it's a feeling. And I also think it's an attack to your character. That's why you need to be rooted in who you are, the knowledge of who you are. So having affirmations, I used to, in varsity, I used to have like, my room was decorated with like lots of colors everywhere. And I used to put I am affirmations. It was not for vibes, it looked nice on Pinterest, but it was necessary because I needed to start believing those things about me. Because I needed to start walking out those things, and you walk them out. You don't get into a room and then you feel like I'm supposed to be here. That's called arrogance. That's ego, you know. So the moment you start feeling uncomfortable, you're probably doing something right, like, because you also see this is not my own efforts. Like, maybe I'm not supposed to be here. But now it's easier for me to glorify God in that moment, to say, yes, He put me here by grace. And in that moment, I have knowledge in who I am to say, you know what, I'm not an imposter. I am supposed to be here. Somebody wants me here. Somebody needs to hear from me. Somebody needs to know what I have to offer. The CEO probably sees the potential in you that you don't like readily see within you, but you slowly become that person and you walk it out each and every day, knowing that, you know what, the minute you start feeling like you've arrived, you're probably on the wrong path. You're probably on the wrong path.
I've met the best of people who literally collaborated with me through networking. So I just thought it was important that you guys understand that and take it with you. And then just briefly after that, just to share on personal branding. A lot of people don't understand what personal branding is and how to brand yourself. You know, what do people say when your name comes up? Like, what do they associate you with? And sometimes you might not be aware of it and you might leave anyhow and wonder why people assume certain things of you. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But before I get that, just a brief background of who I am. You know, like I said, most of you guys don't know me as, I have a few people that really know me. I come from Eastern Cape. I was born and raised in the Eastern Cape in a small town called Musigisi. And then I went to study in Durban, completed my primary and then my high school. I stayed in a boarding house. Crazy because my parents put me in a bus, these things. What is it for? I feel like I'm being neglected. I feel like my parents are just throwing my way there and wanting me to just learn how to live. And now that I'm standing here, I survived Joburg, right? I didn't feel anything in Joburg. When people come to Joburg, Joburg is gonna swallow you. I swallowed.
Come on. Yes, honey. Yes,
It's
honey.
in my hands. You know? Kidding. But I didn't struggle with Joburg. I came here knowing what I wanted and pursued what I wanted. Fast forward to undergrad, guys, I was an A student. Like, I knew everything, distinctions, vibes, and then, honors came, it just tested me beyond measure. And I think the last year in my honors, my mom was like, girl, financial-wise, I can't do it. And I had a bursary undergrad, and they also said, you have something to work with, go find a job. And I knew in my heart that I wanted to be a CA, but I don't have like financial assistance. That's when I had to say, do I want to finish what I started? Do I want to get through it? And I wanted to get through it. I just wanted to see, how does it feel to be on the other side? Because my heart had hope that things are better on the other side. I had no plan B. I had zero plan. I'm like, God, if you don't come through here, it's messed up for me. And God didn't come through the first time. He came through the second time, right? And I relate so much to Lesotho because how my life has evolved now, and entering in this workspace, I needed to go through everything that I went through. It set me up so much. And then I passed CTA, started my hand. I want to be that person to someone, right? That's why I find myself mentoring a lot of people, because I think life could have been more kinder and easier if I had someone that I could literally just call, hi, how did you do this? How did you get over this? I didn't have to go through it as hard as I had to go through it. So I really want to be that big sister to many people, and make their journey quite easy. Obviously, you're not going to escape your experience. You are going to face your own experience. So that's where I'm going. I hope you guys tag along with this initiative that I've started. I have really big dreams for it. And I pray that you guys partake in the things that are going to come from this space, the collaborations that we're going to have. If you want to find yourself in a certain space, you already know people in that space. What does it look like? Like, you already know how an ordered life looks like and how it feels. If you're married, do you think you want to have an appetite of being ordered? How does your life look like? So that you're exposed to what other people with other person. You give, they give it to you. And if you understand that, it's gonna be a value for you to know, I'm coming in this space and I'm gonna give of myself, or I'm gonna receive something. What is it that I'm gonna do with what I receive? In most networking events, if you're in business, you're probably gonna get more sales because you wanna sell your business. But if you're an individual, you probably also wanna look for opportunities to grow. What are other people doing? How do I get there? Who knows me? So if you know the objective and you know the aim, you just don't go in a place blindsided and come back not getting anything. So if you go in another networking event, keep that in your mind and know that I have a goal here. Even if you just meet one person, you don't have to be speaking to everybody, because it won't be genuine. You're trying to hop from one person to another and you're not gaining anything. And sometimes it's best to just listen. You learn a lot from listening to others. I speak a lot, right? I like to speak, but I get in spaces where I just need to just sit and listen. And you learn so much from listening. So I just have 5 benefits of, my notes before they embarrass me. 5 benefits of networking. First one is you get fresh ideas. Like I said, if you're in a familiar space with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, during lunch you guys are talking about the same thing. There's nothing new. But if you're in a different environment, you get different ideas, fresh perspective. So you're gonna look at it in that way to say, what is it that I can learn that I haven't learned? Like you were saying, if you think you've arrived, then you're in trouble, because there's so much to learn. There's so much to get to know from other people, different level even. It doesn't matter if I'm a second year, I can't learn from a first year. So give yourself that opportunity. And another one, it's gonna aid your advancement in your career. People always remember people, and if I know what you do and I know what you like, if there's an opportunity anywhere, I'm gonna think, oh, I met this girl somewhere, I followed her on LinkedIn, this is her passion, this is what she loves, can we recommend her? So that's how actually people grow in careers. That's how actually people move from one job to another. You don't even have to go through the whole process of interviewing, or obviously you have to get there, but you don't need to work hard for people to know what you do. Use spaces like this, right? And then the third one, you get an opportunity for support and mentorship. Speaking to Ayanda, I have a feel of people who are here. I have a feel of people who are studying CTA and working. I have a feel of people who are in their 3rd year, 2nd year, auditors, people who are working. You can identify who can mentor you, who can support you. If you see something that you like for Emmanuel, you're like, I need to speak with this guy. Can you share ideas with me? I want to get in this space. So it makes it so much easier, because you have someone who have walked before you. You don't really have to go through all of these mistakes. They can actually guide you to actually get to where you are. So if you identify anyone, but maybe not me, if you identify a mentor, please approach them in a very kind manner and be like, you know what, I don't want to overwhelm you with responsibility, but can I follow you on LinkedIn? And if I have advice, can I just touch base with you? And then they'll do it, obviously. You're not going to be like, hey, I text you, you don't keep your promises, you know? You give space, people that space, because people are busy. People get overwhelmed if you're not making it organic and natural. And then I think the last one is, networking will help you build confidence. Guys, it takes courage to speak to a stranger. It takes courage to talk about what you love.
Doing? Good. My name is Ropiwa Mope. I'm not going to ask you guys to repeat that. I know it's complicated, it's Venda, but everyone refers to me as Fifi. So should you bump into me, whether in the mall, in the corridors, wherever, refer to me as Fifi. Whoever calls me Ropiwa, I get very nervous because I feel like, what did I do wrong? That's what my mom calls me at home. So no Ropiwa, let's stick to Fifi. Right. So a bit of background. I have, now I'm about to reveal my age, about 16 and a half years experience in talent acquisition. I worked at KPMG for 15 years, and I've been with BDO for a year and a half. Hence the 16 and a half, makes sense? And in that space, what did I do? I dealt with mostly with graduate recruitment and in the HR space. So what does that entail? It means that I screen people's CVs, I interview them, and doing the HR process of things. Then quickly I'm gonna go through it. Maybe you guys can, okay, so here are some of the things I'm gonna touch on. A CV, cover letter, LinkedIn, career sites, and how to prepare for an interview. Okay, so just by a few hands, what do you guys think should be in a CV when you're sending a CV out, applying for a job? What do you think is important to be?
Maybe skills? The skill set?
Very important, yes. Anything else?
Education.
Yeah, very important.
Experience.
Yes.
Interest?
Yeah,
Personal profile.
very important. Yes. So it's all of that, right? The other thing that we didn't mention is contact details. Right. So now you've got all the skills and education and whatever, it's beautiful. You send it to me, but I can't get hold of you because I don't have your number, I don't have an email address, I don't have anything else of yours. And if as a recruiter, when I look at a CV and your details are not there or information is missing, literally if there's a pile, it's there. Whether it's got good information in it, but now I must hassle to get hold of you when I want to interview you? No. So your contact details, very important. I can't put Fifi on my CV. Fifi is not my name. I can talk about Fifi when I get to an interview, but my name is Ropiwa Moore. Your AKA name, Lile, no. Keep that out of the CV. It's not important. Your date of birth, because we'd like to see, date range, especially if we're doing graduate hires. Sometimes age actually matters. I mean, if I'm recruiting for trainees to join, we understand that there are people that decided to drop out a bit and, they're going back into the industry and what. But if you are going to be working with 22-year-olds and you are a 45-year-old, hey, I need to know that information so that even in your interview, we have this discussion so that you know that your peers are actually 22 years old. So is this going to be also a chartered accountant by profession? He did articles at one of the other firms and says to me, Fifi, I want to go to another firm. I know you've got connection. Can you please send my CV to whoever does this recruitment? Okay, cool. Friend, hi, how are you? My brother-in-law, this and that. Would you be able to, send it to whoever must do it? Then I stepped away. I sent it through, then I stepped away. I think on day before yesterday, the recruiter calls and says, Fifi, hey, how are you? Good. Hey, I want to give you feedback on that brother-in-law of yours. Okay, what happened? Firstly, it's a virtual interview, right? So most of the interviews are still virtual. The guy is sitting in a car.
No ways.
The car is moving.
No ways.
During this interview, right? So he's not driving, but the car is moving. There's someone, so it's just very, and the person that's being interviewed is very distracted. This interview was scheduled a week before, so it's not a quick, are you available now? Let's do this quickly, right? The car is moving. His dress code looks like he was going to, not even the mall, to the spaza shop next door to buy bread. And he just looked very unprepared. And based on this, the person that interviewed him said no. I didn't even get to hear how he answered the questions or, did he actually answer, what happened? They stopped at the fact that this person was not prepared, that all of that. So, guys, be prepared for the interview, right? So, like I said, interviews, they differ. There are companies that have gone fully back into interviewing in person, so you go into the office and, do the interview in person, and there's other companies that are doing virtual still, right? Virtual is usually on screen. You have to have your camera on. So things that put us off, you knew this interview was coming, but you didn't check your connection. So your camera is not working, and you are like, sorry, my screen, my camera is just. Believe me, on the other side, I'm doing. How's that interview going to go from there? I'm already put off because you are not prepared. Be ready with scenario-based questions and experiences, what you went through. You worked in this manager, you worked with a difficult client, what happened? How did you handle that? All of that, okay? Then after the interview, try to fast track this whole process, right? This is after the interview. A day later or later on that day, send a thank you email. Person who invited you to the interview, send that person a thank you. The fact that I am in HR and I'm interviewing you but with a partner, and now you go and look for that partner's email until you find it and send them a thank you. The partner usually, they don't have time for this. They'll just forward it to me. And then now I'm annoyed because, so I invite you for an interview, but you don't see the need to thank me. You went and looked for a manager or a partner because you feel like they're higher than me. Okay. The person who invited you, send them a thank you and tell them to thank the other person. Right. What does that help with? It reinforces your interest. This interview was great, this is how you felt, and thank you for the opportunity, you're looking forward to hear. And don't make it too long. Keep it short, but thank you. This was
when they say ladies first, we then say gents last. So I have a gent that I need to introduce. Our next panelist is Themba. Themba is a qualified chartered accountant with over 3 years of post-articles experience.
Come on now.
Having graduated from Northwest University, he completed his articles at EY and received great experience in serving large multinational corporations, publicly traded organizations, and small businesses, as well as establishing meaningful relationships during his tenure. This is followed by a brief audit secondment in Dallas.
That's remote?
Wow, in Dallas, United States, is currently a financial manager at West Bank's Vehicle Asset Finance Division, where he provides financial insight, return on investments, and benefits realization of project management, as well as monthly costs to run the strategy and business transformation business unit. Aside from work, He likes to spend time with his family and plays piano, although still amateur level. Better than most of us here. Right, thank you guys. Yeah, I have a few questions which I'd like all of you guys to answer, and then I have just specific questions for each of you guys that get through. I think the first one for me, which we didn't touch during the engagement that we had, is what are the things that you feel in the workspace are a hindrance, right? They're a limitation in our growth as a young professional. This could be top management still being held back, not open to change. The things that you think that can be fixed and open for us to grow. Ideally, even though you do everything that was shared here to do, you work hard, you show up, but there are just those limitations. What are the things that you've noted in your career? I think we're reciting this.
Okay, so for me, the first thing is ageism. Ageism is a real thing, where people think you're too young to have a seat at the table. I joined literally, I don't want to say everything was smooth sailing, but I started working after I just turned 22. I just gotten my honors, so I was the youngest person on my team. Still am the youngest person even after all the grads that have come in. So for me, ageism has been one thing that has hindered my growth, because when you are sitting in those boardrooms, yeah, they hear you, but we'd rather listen to someone who's a bit older, you know? So I think that's the biggest thing for me. It was initially a TikTok phrase, but I've personally felt that. Another thing, coming in as a grad, is that teams are very bottom heavy. So there's 300, like Fifi mentioned, there's 300 grads that come in and we're all fighting for work, you know? So because of that, there's only certain skills that you can get, because you don't have exposure to everything, because you can't be put on everything. So definitely being in teams that are too bottom heavy are definitely a hindrance as well.
So I think the biggest hindrance actually is ourselves. I think based on things such as ageism, we're dealing with a lot of managers, partners who are of another generation, a different generation to us. And I think because of that, we hinder ourselves, because we're fearful, we're scared, because we don't know how we can place ourselves in such a way to be impactful wherever we are, whatever the role might be. And I do think when you're competing with so many other people and you're trying to fit into this tone that the managers and partners want you to fit into, we stop ourselves. We stop ourselves from excelling. We stop ourselves from allowing ourselves to shine, to show that we do have something to bring, and we all do. If you look at where you are now, you've come through school, you've completed matric, you've come through university, you might still be doing your studies, but you deserve to be there. So why do we stop ourselves from allowing ourselves to bring that to the table? We all have something to benefit, and we all have something to bring. And I think we stop ourselves because we're scared. We're scared that we're going to be saying the wrong thing, or we're going to be impacting somebody negatively, but we're not. We're here for a reason, and I think we need to realize that there's a new generation, and we can bring so much change to the working world and to the workplace. We just need to actually step forward and own ourselves and own who we are and own this new generation of people we are.
Right, there are limitations in our growth as a young professional. This could be top management still being held back, not open to change. The things that you think that can be fixed and open for us to grow. Ideally, even though you do everything that was shared here to do, you work hard, you show up, but there are just those limitations. What are the things that you've noted in your career?
Okay, so for me, the first thing is ageism. Ageism is a real thing, where people think you're too young to have a seat at the table. I joined literally, I don't want to say everything was smooth sailing, but I started working after I just turned 22. I just gotten my honors, so I was the youngest person on my team. Still am the youngest person even after all the grads that have come in. So for me,
The first one will be competition. I think with all of us wanting to be recognized, we find ourselves competing with our peers, and be there to find someone pushing you down. In other words, they want to climb the ladder by pushing other people. And a lot of people, they see someone's ability or strength rather as a threat to themselves. And I don't think it should be like that. We should be able to reach a space where we can collaborate and see someone's strength as a positive in terms of the larger collaboration and work ethic. But I think the second one is probably, I'm losing my train of thoughts now. Okay, I think let me just
despite all of these limiting factors, despite the fact that there's competition, how do I then wake up every day and still show up? Despite the fact that we have old people here and they look down on us and there's everything that hinders me from growing, what is one thing that you think as a young professional faced with all of these opposition needs to literally have?
I think growth is more personal. Okay? My view is that no one is responsible for your growth other than you. And I feel like all these challenges collectively, they provide you with an opportunity to find yourself and to be resilient. I was telling someone that given another opportunity, I would probably do my articles at an audit firm, as toxic as it is, perhaps compared to other industries, but I think it builds a lot of resilience, it builds a lot of character. And I think in terms of around that question, how can someone maneuver and be successful given all these obstacles? You just have to find yourself, know what you want, and always be on the lookout for opportunities. One thing I think we fail to do is to articulate yourself what you want. When people sit in boardrooms, you're not going to get opportunities because you are good with your work. You get opportunities because people know what you want and you have articulated correctly. They normally say connections are stronger than qualifications. For example, I can give you a reference. I've just started a new role last month and I didn't even apply for it, but I articulated my position where I want to see myself with the CEO of the company. And when someone resigned and the opportunity opened itself, my name was able to be brought to the table and everyone was happy. So it's all about articulating yourself. Where do you want to see yourself? There's no one who's gonna know what is in your mind without them articulating and making management.
I think for me, two things. Belief that God put you in that room, and number two, belief in yourself, right? I listed them in that order for a reason, because our purpose comes from God first. And I was actually speaking to some of the ladies earlier about this, that if you're in a room and you feel like you're not supposed to be there, or you feel like you're not growing, or you're frustrated about it, or whatever, your mindset first needs to be, God put me here for a reason. I'm not here by mistake. He gave me the qualifications that I have, and I'm going to walk into that room like God put me there. You know, so I think let me not preach about that, but that's my mantra and motive 24/7. Yeah.
Oh, so I think it's a difficult one, because I do think that often we can find ourselves stuck in a position where we don't really want to wake up and go to work that day. We'd rather stay in bed or do something we love, and sometimes our passions don't align with our careers, and it's unfortunate, but sometimes we have to put first our careers so we can get to our passions. And I think that it is hard, and I know coming from audit, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of audit. I love the environment, the people I work with, but the work's not always appealing. However, I think the first thing is gratefulness. We're in a world where so many people are unemployed, especially in this country. To know that every day you wake up and you've got a job to go to, it's an amazing thing. We can all be so grateful for that, and I think that's the biggest thing.
So you're not going to get opportunities because you are good with your work. You get opportunities because people know what you want and you have articulated correctly. They normally say connections are stronger than qualifications. For example, I can give you a reference. I've just started a new role last month and I didn't even apply for it, but I articulated my position where I want to see myself with the CEO of the company. And when someone resigned and the opportunity opened itself, my name was able to be brought to the table and everyone was happy. So it's all about articulating yourself. Where do you want to see yourself? There's no one who's gonna know what is in your mind without them articulating and making management know.
However, that being said, I do think you've got to find opportunity where you are as well. that where you are, the people you're with, even though they might be difficult, though they might be of a different generation or harder on you or whatever it might be, you can still learn from them and grow from them. And I think that in those moments you learn so much, especially about who you are as a person. And I think if you can wake up every day grateful and willing to find something good throughout the day, it can help you get through these hard times, while still maybe looking for something that fuels you, that fuels that fire inside you, and giving you the opportunity to look for something better maybe, but you still need to get through that difficulty.
Romy touched on boundaries,
Yes.
right? I think we talk about boundaries a lot, and maybe there are people in the room who don't know what boundaries look like. People are talking about boundaries. What does boundary look like? Maybe just share one or two things that are a boundary to you, and it has helped you manage your life. It has helped you not find yourself, like Ms. Hall was really earlier, where you take too much than you can, and then now it's towards the end of the audit or whatever that you are trusted to do, and that's only the time when you're like, hi guys, I can't do it. What are the few things that you guys can share so that we can have an idea? Maybe I don't know it's a boundary, and it can help me that I can implement it and I can adopt it, and maybe it can really help me to have a healthy workspace, especially for what you can control. Many things we can't control. We can't control what people do or what the environment do to us. But if you can then create those measures, right? What are the things that you, maybe one or two, what boundaries that you have that have helped you to ensure that you stay afloat?
So for me, one of my big boundaries, I'm Jewish, and Friday night is our Sabbath. And one boundary I've set with managers from the get-go is that Friday night at 4:30, 5, whenever Sabbath comes in, I need to be at home. And in times when I've worked overtime, when the managers, we've had crazy deadlines, I've set that boundary from the beginning, and I've said this is something that unfortunately I cannot compromise on. And if you set that up front and you're consistent with that, no one can turn around to you and say, no, you have to work. It's your religion. No one can fight against your religion. And if they do, that's a huge problem. And the second boundary is, I think we're also scared to say no. I know I am. It's petrifying to say no, especially to a manager, to a partner. There's managers that I love. I would go the extra mile for. I have such a good relationship with them. And actually one of them messaged me the other day to say, do I have any capacity? He really needs some help. And I'm on a client at the moment. I'm working overtime. I worked this morning. I'm going home to work. I've been working for the past 2 weeks till 11 o'clock at night. I don't have the time, and as much as I wanted to say to him, 100% I'll do it for you, because I would work through the night for him. I knew I couldn't handle it. I've got an assignment for my boy exam due on Monday. I've got admin to do. I've got a boyfriend. I've got friends to see. I've got a personal life. I want to go to gym, and I just could not. I haven't gym for so long. I wanted to, as much as I wanted to help him, because I really respect him. He respects me. I couldn't, and I said, I'm so sorry, I can't. If things clear up, I'll help you with the greatest of pleasure, but unfortunately not, for now I can't. And because we have that mutual respect, he was so okay with that. But I do think it's scary, because sometimes you're going to get managers who don't respect that. You're going to get colleagues, fellow trainees, fellow workers with you who don't respect that as well, and who get frustrated because now they're getting more work because you're not available to assist. But at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? By saying no. What are they going to do? Are they going to take you to HR? Take me to HR. I'll show them why I can't help, And it's not going to be a case like that, because I think more often than not they do understand. And I think we're so scared of the worst that's happening, but I don't think it's actually going to be so bad. We just need to learn to say no, which is very scary, but you can do it.
For me, the first thing, I have blocked out my calendar from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. as well as from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Even if I'm working during those times, I am a management consultant. I work 14-hour days on a good day. But even if I'm working during that time, no people can put any meetings in my calendar during that time. Another thing, my phone goes on Do Not Disturb every night at 5:30. My managers can't get a hold of me. If you want to text me, I will see your text, I'll respond in the morning. The third thing, I don't take on new tasks after 5 p.m. If somebody comes to me asking me to do something, I'll say, yes, I'm happy to assist, but I'll pick it up first thing in the morning because I'm currently still busy on something. Those are my top 3 non-negotiables, and they also know I gym on a day-to-day basis. So during my gym time, they do not touch me as well.
I'm ready for you to mention me. I need that courage. Emma, wrap it up for us.
I think for me, the key thing is to be upfront. And I think it will link back to articulation. For example, at work, it's year end for now. It was day for the year, FY23. I had to sit down and map down my plan and tell them, look, there are a few weekends I can't work weekends, obviously. I missed all the deliverables from group, the other team members have to come in, or I would have to do them. But I think the key thing in terms of boundaries, you gotta be reliable. You should have earned your trust. Because also setting your boundaries, you don't want to be perceived as if you don't want to do your work. And some of the boundaries that I have, I'm Christian, I'm a church person, I go to church every Sunday. I can't work Sundays. I can't work during Easter, as much as it's hectic time during budgets. They know very well I can't. I'm also not a morning person. I don't accept meetings before 10 a.m. unless it comes.
Oh, child.
And fully understand. And working those boundaries. I'm a night person. I can bend the midnight oil, but I can't work. I'm not a morning person. Don't make me wake up for 7 a.m. 8 a.m. meeting. Yeah.
So good. I think for you to establish boundaries, you need to know yourself. You know, I can't be inspired to establish her boundaries if they're not aligned with what I do.
Yeah.
If I don't go to the gym, why am I setting a gym boundary? Because I'm not going to the gym. You know, so just identify who you are, what you value the most. And I think what I like what Timber said, you have to do your job at the end of the day. You can't, what Rori said, you can't block out your calendar at 8. You need to work. You're getting paid to work, right? You can't block your calendar from 8 to after school. So you need to just measure, is it against what you've signed up for, or it's really like crossing boundaries beyond that what you've signed up for. Just an individual question. Just have 2 questions for you guys. Didn't share this with you guys because I'm going to put you on the spot. Just start with you, Rori. You have a lot that you do. You will head charity, and you guys have number of events in a year. You're a second year, you have your studies. How do you, I'd say, lack of a better term, how do you do it all? And follow up the question is, how would you encourage the importance of being involved in other things at your workspace, right? Not necessarily just waking up to do your 9 to 5. What are the benefits of just you being involved in committees? They don't pay you extra for that. And just being a well-rounded person.
So I actually had a conversation with a friend about this last year because I found that I was feeling very fulfilled in my life, in my studies, I passed my first board exam, in work felt like I was doing really well in my relationships. But for me personally, I felt like I wasn't achieving any personal goals, which I wasn't setting. And I felt quite stagnant in my life because of it, because I think as well as we can be doing in areas of our life, if we're not fueling our personal fire, you become stagnant, and I felt quite stagnant, and I needed to identify ways that I could actually fuel that fire and do something where I didn't feel stagnant, where I was setting personal goals and achieving them. And that's why I decided to join. So we've got a committee, it's called the Johannesburg Article Clerks Association. It's across all firms, and we organize events for trainees. We have a charities pillar, we have a mentorship pillar, and charities has always spoken to me, and I've always volunteered throughout school. On my gap year I volunteered, and it was something that's always been something I've wanted to do. And I didn't really know how I could do it in the workspace. I think, again, capacity, time, it's very difficult. And when this opportunity arose to volunteer to be head of charities, I had to take it. And it's hard. I've already organised a couple of events for the year, one of which was a fun run where we raised funds to purchase menstrual cups for Baragwanath Hospital for patients who came in there. And the lead up to that, there was nights I wasn't sleeping, I'd wake up anxious, because I think we take a lot on ourselves sometimes, but the results that came from that run reminded me exactly why.
Yes, you head charity, you're a leader in the space, but you serve, right? And most people don't want to serve. And leadership to many people looks like, I want to be in the forefront, I want everybody to follow me. We just do that to us and encourage us the importance of serving. And because serving also doesn't look pleasing in the eye. You do the best of things, right? You pick up the paper, you collect when everybody leaves, and nobody thinks that is serving, right? It's not ideal. I just want to be in the forefront. Just to encourage us and the audience, the importance is just doing this mundane, small stuff, and those result in prepare you to lead. Because if you didn't do all these small things, how are you going to lead something that you are not going to be compensated for in monetary value, but it fulfills you, and people who look at you as a great leader.
So I think a lot of people see leadership as the recognition.
Sure.
Your photo on the face of a magazine, or people clapping for you because they know you own a massive company or you've done XYZ. And I think you actually have to identify why you're doing this in the first place. You've got to identify that in order to be a good leader, sometimes you don't actually want to be the leader. So I know that there's people I've worked with who are phenomenal delegators. They love to delegate tasks, but when it comes to doing the dirty work, they don't want to do that. And in my opinion, I don't see that as a good leader, because you're just giving to everybody. So I think the first thing is you have to be willing to work. When I did the fun run, for example, the beginning, in February I started, I was dealing with people for the permits, the police, all of that stuff. And when it came to a month before the event and we had to start reaching out to sponsors, the committee said to me, they said, but what are we doing about our permits? And I said, it's already organized, it's okay, I've been dealing with it since February. And I think you have to actually take a step back and realize, in order for things, your name's behind it at the end of the day. If these events failed, my name's there as head of charities. I can leave those things to other people, but I don't know if it's going to get done the right way. I don't know if come the day of the run, we're going to have a lack of permits and we're going to have to shut down the run while everyone's there. You have to be willing to take the step to do the dirty work, to do the things that are annoying, that you do have to set up the 8 o'clock meetings at night to deal with. You know, they're frustrating. You don't want to do that. You want to go home and chill and watch Netflix, you know. But to have to actually take the time and set up these meetings and organize it from the bottom, it's, I think, the true quality of leadership. You want to do the dirty work because you know you're going to get results. To be a good leader, you want to focus on the results. I think if you had a look at any of the top CEOs today, sure, they now have a whole group of people underneath them who they delegate to, but when they started, they had to start from the ground up. They had to start somewhere, building a foundation themselves, because their name was behind it. So if you're not willing to build that foundation, how can you really say you're a true leader? If you want your photo on that magazine, you need to know that you've built enough to get there. And yeah, I think you just have to be willing to work hard. It is hard, it's taxing, it's exhausting at times, but that fulfillment you get from the end of it, to know when people come to you and say, well done. Yes, you've got an amazing team who helped you, but it's because of you that that team is there in the first place. It's because of you that that idea is there in the first place. Be proud of yourself, recognize your ability, recognize your leadership skills, but don't be scared to be the one who is picking up the papers at the end. That's a true leader in my opinion.
So do the dirty work, guys. It doesn't look glamorous, but you've said it all. Rori, I actually went to stalk you on LinkedIn. You are growing quite a fast rate. Just tell us, what's the secret?
What's the secret?
On the stage, what are you doing? How, when you look at your journey and your growth, what are the things that you pick up that has helped you to grow at a rate that you are? You are young, right? And not many people are in the position that you are in, but you still continue to step up and move and grow your career. So if you look back and reflect, what are the things that has helped you to get there? What's the secret?
Okay, so the first thing is work ethic. Guys, anybody who knows, Emmanuel's my brother. Emmanuel has seen me from grade 1. I was a kid who studied from grade 4. I had study notes, like literally, I work hard. But not only that, I pour into other people as well, because you can't expect to grow if you're not lifting other people as well. So I pour into my church community, I pour into my mentees, I pour into my little sisters and brothers that I adopt everywhere. So pouring into others has helped me rise as well, because that teaches you traits that you wouldn't ordinarily learn. Also, having hard conversations at work. I can sit with my manager and say, listen, I hear you guys need me on this project, but my developmental goals right now are A, B, and C, and I want to be on that project because I can get to my goals on that one. So can I be 50% capacitated onto this one and then 50% on that one, so that I can have, you know, a bit of both. So having those difficult conversations is very, very important, but also knowing your purpose and knowing your why. So in as much as I'm growing in my career, I'm also growing in other spheres as well, as a YouTuber, as a director of an NPO, vice chairperson of the NPO as well. There's so many other places that I'm growing in, and it is really because of my purpose, and my purpose always leads to God. I will forever say that. So having that center, having that why, will always be, that anchor that I have to keep me moving forward.
What's your day-to-day life look like as in consulting? I mean, I don't know much about consulting, and if there's anyone who's interested in doing consulting, they have an insight of what it looks like, and preferably should you get to study to get there to do consulting. Let's say I have a become accountant, right? Will I be eligible to actually get into consulting, or is that specifics that are needed and required? Will I have to go back to varsity to do something that will enable me to actually be quite practical?
Okay, I'm going to say something very controversial. You don't need to study anything to be a consultant. Literally, they want anybody who can think and anybody who has an entrepreneurial mind. So we have CAs, we have engineers, we have lawyers, we have doctors, we have we have them all. So if you feel that you are at a point in your career where you want to, go into consulting, go for it. You really don't need to study anything in particular. A day-to-day for me, we have a lot of meetings, a lot of client calls. Your day starts for me at 8 a.m. Sometimes I switch on my laptop a bit earlier, but you have a lot of calls in the morning with either clients or leadership. They're giving you work, or the client is giving you feedback on whatever they need as well. And usually you only start getting to your actual work after 4 p.m. because you are in back-to-back meetings during the day. You're laughing because you're also consulting. So you have a lot of client calls. But for me, I think what makes it worse is that I'm also involved in other things outside of my project work at work as well. But really, it is a lot of meetings, a lot of client-facing work. So if you have a problem with public speaking, go for it, because it's a great opportunity to actually learn how to speak in front of people. And then, all the dirty work as a junior comes in after your meetings have ended at the end of the day, where you are doing a lot of research, you're writing up a lot of decks, writing thought leaderships, but literally you live on PowerPoint and Excel and Word. Those are the three that you use. But you also learn how to visualize data on things like Power BI and Tableau and all of that stuff. So that is basically what I do on a day-to-day basis outside of the personal pursuits that I have.
Let's wrap up this informative session. You were in audit, right?
Yeah.
And you switched to finance. There's a misconception around people who are in audit space, they can't pivot to the financial space. How did you do? What connection did you have? And just a follow-up question to that, maybe if there's someone here who's in audit space, doesn't like audit, how best can they use the experience they have in audit to actually get to that space?
Contrary to popular opinion, I'm probably one of the few that loved audit. And I think I still do. I always tell my manager that I'm probably going to go back to audit. And quite frankly, I've never audited any financial institution. During my audit days, I was mainly E&R, which is mining, and I had a lot of general clients. But it is my view that if you go through the rigorous process of articles, regardless where you do it, and I would say in particular audit because I've experienced it, it prepares you for anything. And it just takes me back in terms of why perhaps I ended up becoming a CA. Someone told me you can be and you can do anything.
Yeah.
The second thing they told me is that I can have money. I'm not sure about that. But I'm very sure about the first one. And I think the experience that you go through, the tenacity and the resilience, the character building, whatever.
They might not have thought about it, but I really believe that when you are in a space, it's really important to know that something drew you to the space. You probably needed to hear from one of these people and to know something about their life that happened that is actually relating to you. So this is open to anyone of you, but all of you can just get about it.
I think I will take it first. I think it's to be open-minded and be prepared to make mistakes. I think we are all young. We can afford to make mistakes. You can make career mistakes. And I think the main thing that made me to leave audit, I didn't want to love audit purely because I'm only exposed to audit, because I might not know what else perhaps I can do better or even fall in love with. And I think the last thing, I'm losing my train. You can go for it.
So I think, as I said to you guys already, be proud that you're here. You've got so much to offer people. Don't be afraid to show that side. Be loud in who you are, however, still be accountable. Don't be afraid to say that you're wrong, to say that you've made mistakes. We're all human beings. We have to know that we always have room to learn. Again, you have not made it. You've never made it. There's always room to grow. But in saying that, be proud of who you are. You're here for a reason. There is a job for you if you don't have a job. If you're in a job and you don't like your job, there is another job waiting there. You just have to know what you want. But in knowing what you want, you have to know who you are. And I think the biggest thing is find out who you are. I think so many of us are lost at times in our lives, and that's okay. It's okay to be lost. But you need to find yourself. In order to know what you want from your life, find yourself, be accountable, but show up every day for yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing, is it doesn't matter what you do, you're never going to be anywhere. And I think Bandile is the perfect person to say she's doing all of this because every day she shows up for herself. She's a phenomenal trainee, phenomenal human being, phenomenal leader because she shows up. And I think she's the perfect example of that. That if you show up for yourself, you really can do anything.
Okay, so 2 things from me. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And secondly, always leave people better than you found them. Yeah.
My second point is comfort. It's actually a quote I was trying to recall. I think it's Malcolm is saying, if 2 of us are alike, then 1 is unnecessary. And otherwise, you're not adding any value. Be authentic and be yourself.
Young professional.
The woman of the hour. The woman of the hour. Can I just give a shout out to my brother who came through to support me? I told him, bro, I'm speaking at an event, and he said, say less, where do I buy a ticket? So thank you so much, bro, for coming through and being my YouTuber for the day, for being my crew for the day. Thank you so much. Love you lots, bro. Hey guys, so I just got home. This light is so harsh. I just got home and I'm tired. I'm probably done vlogging for the day. This is going to be a very educational vlog, not too much action. I don't know if I'm going to end the vlog today or if I'm going to end it tomorrow after church. I'm still deciding. But yeah, today was awesome. Having the opportunity to speak was, you know, just a God ordained moment. Oyana and I had a brief conversation after everything, and she was just like, listen, what I see on the YouTube streets are what you are in person, and thank you for just being a giver. And I was just like, do you know what you're talking about, ma'am? But yeah, anyway, sis, thank you so much for inviting me to your first ever Young Professionals event. It was great, and I hope it's the first of many that you keep inviting us to. Guys, I'm plugging you guys. Go to the Instagram page, the Young Professionals Hub page, and just stay in touch, stay, you know, on the ball with all that stuff, because if there are other events, that's where, you know, she's gonna tell us about them and all of that stuff. This is just my name tag that I was wearing for the whole day. My little lanyard thing is green because I was one of the speakers. Everybody else had blue, but yeah, the crowd was incredible. I met a whole lot of people. Some people I'll be featuring on my channel very soon. I met Sis Lesejo, who is phenomenal. She actually just finished working at the firm that I work at. So yesterday was her last day, which is hilarious. But, these networking opportunities are incredible because I got to speak to her about, my future career plans. Like I was telling you guys last week, or the last vlog, that, I'm trying to figure out what my 5-year term or 10-year term plan is and all of that stuff. So, having those conversations, career conversations with her was incredible. At the age of 27, she is so wise. I love it. And the thing that made me love her the most is that she rocked up onto that stage with her Bible. And I was just like, you are my girl. You are my girl. But yeah, anyway, I am going to get changed into comfier clothes. My sister ditched me, so I don't have anything to do for the rest of the day. So I'm gonna get into comfier clothes and maybe start editing this vlog. I'm waiting for some of the footage from Emmanuel. Shout out to Emmanuel for coming to support me. Love you so much, bro. We've come a long way. We've come a long way. So thank you so much for supporting me. I genuinely support you taking basically your whole Saturday to just come and be with me as I speak at this event. So thank you so much, bro. I know you're gonna comment something at this point in the video in the comment section. So yeah. Anyway, my hand is getting tired, so that means I've been talking for too long. I don't know where this vlog is going. I don't know if I'm continuing. I really don't know. I just need to charge my phone, really. And then I'll decide from there what's happening. I might read, I might not. I don't know. We'll see where the day goes. But that was just a debrief. I'm back home and I'm tired. I'm real tired. Anyway, catch you guys a bit later. So that evening, I ended up just sitting and Netflixing and chilling, made a bowl of popcorn and watched a movie. I can't even remember what movie I watched. I probably didn't even finish it, probably passed out halfway through, but that's what I did for the rest of the evening. The next morning, I headed to Greenstone, Edenvale area where I grew up, to actually one of the churches that a lot of the people that I grew up with still go to. And auntie duties were calling because my baby was getting dedicated today. And, as the proud aunt, I was there, number one, doing what I do. But yeah, essentially I spent the day with my baby and my girl and her family for the BB dedication.
The Lord gave. And at the grace place, we believe we need to dedicate children as opposed to infant baptism. Dedicating our children to the Lord is based on principles found in God's Word. Amen. So what is a baby dedication? The baby dedication is a ceremony where parents who believe in Jesus Christ make a public commitment before the Lord and the congregation to surrender a child to God's will and to raise that child according to God's will and God's ways. Sometimes the entire family will stand together to make this declaration. To dedicate means to set apart. A child that is dedicated
So I am home, like home. Because the church that I attended today is literally up the road from home. And your fave wants to say hi. So your fave is gonna say hi to you. It's always chaotic when he says hi. So just cause Lamwitse horobyang. Oh, today he's behaving.
No, because so much.
Say hi to the people.
What's up, beautiful people? Hi. You know, still on project Find Mebs a Wife. You know, I can cook, I clean, I'm good around the house, you know, and I'll treat you well. You know, if there's any fathers out here, the cows are chilling, they're waiting. Just tell me when, you know, igm.ab.z.
Our yard is not even big enough to have cows.
You said the cows are here.
Where are the cows?
Stress. You don't need to worry about where my cows are, because you're supposed to be receiving cows.
Yeah, but when I get the cows, they need to go to where?
Yeah, you'll tell me you'll tell me when you get the cows. You know?
Oh, when I was shady.
Just know that there's cows, man. There's cows, there's goats, there's pigs. You pick your flavor. I've got dairy cows, you know, Telata Ramaphosa with the horns that go. Pick your flavor.
You heard it here.
But chip. Sun-kissed.
One thing about this kid, no. No. Also, do your little brothers borrow clothes and then never bring them back?
But I wasn't borrowing this. I told you I took it.
This is my hoodie, guys.
No, it's not.
This is my hoodie, and I haven't worn it in like 3 years because he took it and it never came back.
I took it at the beginning of first year.
No, you were wearing it before then.
Yeah, but then I was borrowing it.
Point is,
When I went
do
to
your
varsity.
little siblings?
Can I please get my flannel bag that you took in?
No, it's here. It's at home.
The grey one?
Yes, it's here. It's here. It's literally here. I don't wear it. It's not like,
No,
guys.
the grey one, not the red one.
Yes, the grey one is here. Go open the wardrobe. It's there.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, guys, little siblings are abusive.
I'm not abusive.
Little siblings are abusive. Little siblings are abusive.
If that chair.
No, you see, guys, no.
No, but you see now that pendant, right, would look good. Yeah, you know.
Go get your own.
Then you know maybe the future Mrs. M will wear it.
Go get your own. Okay, bye,
I didn't
guys.
share that.
Mother of my child. Father of my child. What did you guys? What did you? Hi beautiful people, so I came to close out the vlog. This is like 2 or 3 weeks later. I'm not even gonna explain myself. I'm tired of saying I'm sorry. I'm tired of apologizing. So we're here to close out the vlog. My baby got dedicated, and also guys, that Young Professionals Hub event, guys, I don't want to say much. I put in as much content as possible for you guys to get absolutely everything absolutely everything. I recorded as much as I could so that you guys could feel like you're at the event as well, and also so that you guys know that when we are posting these things next time, come through, guys, not just to network but to learn. There's so much that we learned that day. Some things were just reinforcements, things that we already knew but needed to be reinforced. So guys, come through to networking events, come through to young professional events, like do the things. So yeah, anyway, with that, I'm closing out the vlog. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share this with anybody and everybody who you think might need it. And with that, with so much love and so much light from me to you, have an amazing rest of the day. Stay safe and God bless. Bye guys.